How past hurts impact present relationships. That's our topic today. Now, if you have not subscribed, you want to do that. We have over 1,000 YouTubes to help you do relationships in life. If you have a question, put it in the box. Well, all of us have been hurt in the past. Some of us have been betrayed. Some of us have experienced abuse, sexual, financial, physical, some of us spiritual or emotional abuse. And how does this impact our present relationships? Well, it does matter how you responded to the past. So if you responded to the past in a way of shutting down, escaping, or coping, that would leave you limited. So what would happen in that way, you would have several things that would come into your life. One is a coping mechanism. That could be alcohol, drugs, sex, porn, fantasy novels, scrolling through your phone endlessly, Facebook. It could be anything, okay, where you spend excessive time escaping. You want a coping mechanism because whatever happened to you in the past, you were either unwilling or unskilled to be able to process and deal with it. You would also have trust and mistrust issues. So if you were impacted by a betrayal or a trauma, trust has been broken and it needs to be reset. If it's not reset, it stays broken. So you will approach with kind of cautious eyes, suspicious eyes, your relationships. Even if you're in marriage, you will still kind of be skeptical as to whether you are truly loved, truly wanted, or if there's some kind of scam going on. You will have this kind of feeling of mistrust if things have not been dealt with from the past. So you will be asking more questions and the other person will feel like you don't trust them. You will feel unsafe, although you are safe. You will have all kinds of feelings in the relationship that aren't based on fact or reality, and you'll be acting emotionally, and your spouse will have to be responding to things that are not true, that you believe that are true, and they can't prove to you that they're not true because you believe them. And if you understand what I just said, you're probably guilty. So it depends on how you respond to that. So not only will you have a coping, okay, you'll probably have an undercurrent of hurt or anger, because trauma can cause anger, and it should. Okay, and there's a whole process of doing anger work. And if you get the book Emotional Fitness, it's probably the best book for our conversation because it'll give you skill, but also gives you the anger work. If you haven't lacerated those wounds are still in your body. You know, your body keeps the score. Your body holds the stuff in your fascia system mostly. It's not in your brain. It's in your fascia system. So you react, okay? So your reactions will be disproportionate if you have undealt with situations in your past. Someone will say a word, there'll be a circumstance or some kind of situation where you overreact. Overreaction is almost always an indication on unresolved work. And so if you're in a situation where you're overreacting regularly, you have probably undealt stuff and it's affecting your relationship. Okay, this can affect the way you treat money. This can affect the way you treat sexuality as far as not being explorative or initiating. You'll be, kind of begrudgingly giving your heart, because your heart, when you have undealt with stuff, it begins to shrink. And so you don't feel as creative. You don't feel as safe, because you have to feel safe to be creative and fun, spiritually, emotionally, sexually, romantically, all that stuff. And when you don't feel safe, those kind of things start closing down, which can actually starve your spouse. And one of the coping mechanisms is what we call intimacy anorexia. And that is where you're too busy for your spouse, you blame your spouse, you withhold love, you withhold praise, you withhold spiritually, you withhold sexually, or you're not connected during sex, are unwilling or unable to share your feelings with them. You have ongoing ungrounded criticism. And if you've chosen that as a coping mechanism, intimacy anorexia is its own addictive pattern. Go to intimacyanorexia.com. We have lots of YouTubes on that. You want to heal from that because that's destroying your spouse. And that can happen if things are undealt with. Most people who struggle with sexual addiction, intimacy, anorexia have sexual abuse backgrounds. If you choose to do the work, either earlier in your life or right now, you will go down a different path. Number one, you will develop skills to actually thrive instead of skills to survive. Instead of shutting down, you will develop skills to open up, be authentic, Go into those dark places, tell the secrets, get rid of shame, be able to forgive yourself, forgive others, be able to do the anger work that you need to do. You'll probably get into materials like partner betrayal trauma materials, or get in a group for partners. If you're a betrayed man, get in a betrayed man group. We have those in our office. Watch that video if you're a man, the betrayed man video. It gives you a lot of tools because sometimes guys aren't apt to go to therapy. Get that. Start with that. Get in a group. We have Facebook groups for several different kinds of things. Get counseling. Call Heart to Heart 719-278-3708. See if we can partner with you and help you get the skills you need so that you're not experiencing triggers. Because if you don't do the work, triggers are real common. A trigger is that overreaction we talked about. Something happens and you overreact. That's a trigger. And if you're having triggers, get the video Triggered, because it can help you so much to manage that. And that is negatively impacting you and your relationship. But staying on the skills side, be honest about what's happened with you, whether you were the victim or the perpetrator. Deal with the feelings, process them out, develop emotional skills like emotional fitness gives to you. Be able to identify your feelings, communicate your feelings. And if you do that, the past can actually impact your future positively. I know I was sexually abused. I was abandoned. I was an alcoholic, a drug addict, a sex addict, and I got sober. I've been sober for 40 years. I've helped thousands of people get sober. I've seen souls mature so rapidly with skills and development and practice that I believe skills are the way to go. And it helps you navigate intimacy and connection. And if you're struggling with that, there's a great book called Intimacy, 100-Day Guide to Lasting Relationships. It talks about how you can practice these emotional skills together and how you can nurture one another and how you can connect spiritually with one another. If you take your past and do the work, get the education from it, get new skills from it, your future relationships can be better than probably anyone in your life, because you have the skills to do relationships. Relationships, especially marriage, takes a set of skills. And honestly, in Western culture, we don't teach you those skills in high school. We don't teach you how to be authentic, vulnerable, share your feelings, be able to trust others. We develop a culture of independence, not interdependence. Well, we're interdependent beings. Betrayal and trauma, the past, whatever's happened in your past, can set you up for mistrust. Mistrust leads down a very bad road. In the book, Partner Betrayal Trauma, or the video, I spend a whole chapter explaining that. And it's a known road, where your heart gets smaller, your life gets smaller, and your relationships are impacted. But trust, safe people on the same road, people trying to get skills, growing and maturing, counselors, these kind of people can help you move into that place where it doesn't matter what your past is. Your future is bright. And if we can help you with that, give us a call. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because we have so much information out there. It's available to you. And also, if you have a question, we are so happy to answer that. My hope is you will take the journey like I had to, so that you can have the most abundant life possible.